artistic, literary, aesthetic. For example, most famous is drama, theatre. In drama, who is the most famous dramatist of Gupta era? Kalidasa. Upama Kalidasasya bharaverartha gauravam dandinah padalalityam maghe santi trayo gunaha. Right? Upama Kalidasasya. Kalidas is great because he gives the metaphors and similes of that great level. So the shlok is very simple. Kalidas is known for his metaphors. Upama Kalidasasya bharaverartha gauravam. Bharavi is another poet, comes from later era of Pallava territory. He is known for his artha, his meaning, the depth, the profundity of his compositions. Bharaverartha gauravam dandinah padalalityam. Dandin is another poet again from Pallava domain in deep south, Kanchipuram. And Dandin in his Dashakumara Charitam and other poems is known for Padalalitya, the gaiety, the laity of that thing. And Maghe Santi Trayo Gunaha. Mahag is the poet who combines all the three qualities of the other, Kalidas, Bharavi and Dandin. Now of all these four, Kalidas, Bharavi, Dandin and Magh, only Kalidas is to be quoted here because he probably comes from Gupta era. Now what all Kalidas has written? We know he has composed, I think, 3 dramas and 4 poems. Right? Which are the 4 poems? Name one by one. Ritusamhara, very famous. Do you know about Kalidas? What do you know about Kalidas? Give me a 10-minute speech on Kalidas. Apart from names of his things and era, let me go in some detail. Maybe it will be useful. I am going out of question for some time and talking about Kalidas. I think it should be important for everybody as at least Indian. So he has written 3 dramas and 4 poems. Dramas. One is Abhijnanashakuntalam.
This is the best program for UPSC preliminary examination.
Then this program is very much suitable for all those who are appearing for this year's prelim.
As far as the content is concerned, we will be as comprehensive as possible.
कहानी की तरह एक flow में जब आप पढ़ते हो, तो then it becomes easier for you.
That's exactly what I am trying to bridge in this particular course. The first is the conceptual clarity.
I want to tell UPSC that this is your exam and I can clear it easily.
Then Vikramorvashiyam, Vikram and Urvashi. Oh, Vikramorvashiyam. And the third one, Malavika Agnimitra, about which UPSC asked the question. Malavika Agnimitra. Then, and when it comes to poems, which are poems he has written? There are 2 long poems, Dirgha Kavya, and 2 short poems, Laghu Kavya. Which are the 2 Dirgha Kavyas? One is Kumarasambhavam. Who is Kumar? Iska sambhav ho raha hai. No, not Kumar. Kumar is the son of Shiva and Parvati. So Kumarasambhavam. Then you have Raghuvamsham. Who is Raghu? ये है भारत के हाल. I'm sorry, but anyway, then these are 2 long poems, and the 2 short poems are Kaschit Kanta Viraha Guruna Swadhika Ratparmatta Kape Nastam Gamita Mahima Varshabho Gyana Bhartuhu Yakshas Chakre Janakatanaya Snana Punyedakeshu. Don't know. Meghadutam Snigdha Chaya Tarushvasatim Ramagiri Ashrameshu Nitva Masan. You have not memorized entire Meghaduta in childhood of 120 stanza only, 120, 124 stanza. Oh, and the last one is Ritusamhara. So what do you know about all this book? Do you know about all these books? One by one. Can you speak about them for 2-3 minutes, each one? Utna to karo yaar. Let me go in some details, at least introduce you the greatest literature of classical India for some time. Ritusamhara. Ritu is season. So he has written a very good poems describing the 6 seasons and their qualities. And what is the mood of nature. Kalidas is a poet of nature. fantastic poet of nature, and you can see that in Ritusamhara is actually not highly appreciated because it is one of his early poems, and here he doesn't come out as a very excellent poet, but that is compared to what he has done in later times. By default, it is a great poem anyway. It's a very short Laghu Kavita. It talks about 6 Ritus, and the emotions and the descriptions of nature are fantastic in that. Now, when he talks about the emotions, the one of the greatnesses of Kalidasa I just mentioned is his upama, simile and metaphor. That is one khasiyat. The second greatness that is contextual in this Ritusamhara context is that he is the greatest artist who creates best rasa pariposha. So rasa nirmiti, navarasas. Shrungara Veera Karunadbhuta Hasya Bhayanakaha Vivatsaraudrau Shantascha Ete Navarasa Mataha. Of these 9 rasa, Shanta rasa came much later in the Kashmir region, 10th century. The first 8 rasas are given in Bharatamuri's Natya Shastra. So Kalidas is the expert in the manifestation, in the expression of rasa. And the best famous example is Ritusamhara. Then you come to Meghadutam, you know the story of Yaksha. Yaksha, who is banished from the heaven because he has overstepped his authority. He is sent near Nagpur at a place called Ramgiri, which today we call as Ramtek. And now he is missing his wife. So he sends the cloud messenger, Meghadutam. Duta Kavya is a category of poems in India. There are multiple Duta Kavyas. So you have separation, and one person takes a message to other person, or one thing. It could be Hamsa Kavya, Meghadutam, Hamsadutam. Multiple objects act as Dut, messengers. In this poem, Megha is the messenger, and message is being sent by a Yaksha who is bereft of his powers for 1 year and who is missing his wife. And his wife is somewhere in the Himalayas. So he tells the messenger, that Megha, that you go by this path and that path, you will find this mountain. You go there, you will find this river. You go there, you will find that kind of nature. So entire map of India from Vindhya to Himalaya is known to Kalidas. He gives us a lot of details. Based on that, in 20th century, people have mapped the road that the Megha must have traversed from Nagpur to Himalayas, and where the Avantipuri or Alkapuri is. So again, nature and intimate awareness of geography. That is one thing. Not only that, the Yaksha is feeling the pangs of separation from his wife. Now, that kind of rasa is the very first rasa, Shrungara rasa. And there are 2 types of rasas. Shrungara has 2 subtypes of rasas, Shrungara of union and Shrungara of separation. So Shrungara of union is called as Sambhoga Shrungara, and Shrungara of separation is called as Vipramlabha Shrungara. In the case of Meghadutam, it is the best poem of Vipramlabha Shrungara, the pangs that we want to get united. And exactly opposite is the case over here. Kumarasambhava, Shiva and Parvati come together in the Sambhoga Shrungara, and from that is the birth of Kumara. So many people, not today, in the 9th and 10th and 11th century, in medieval time, many poets said that Kalidas has overstepped the foundation of normalcy, what a poet should do and what a poet should not do. And he has given very graphic description of the erotic positions of Shiva and Parvati in Kumarasambhava. Nonetheless, if you go for Shrungara Rasa, Meghadutam is the best example of Shrungara of separation, and Kumarasambhavam is the best example of Shrungara of union. Then you have Raghuvamsham. Who is Raghu? Raghu is the forefather of Rama, Dashratha's forefather. So Raghuvamsham, his entire Vamsh, the 10 generations of that family, starting from Raghu, what all exploits they had in their political career. That is the poem. In that, one generation is of Ram, but the poem is not only about Ram, it's about entire generations of Rama, before and after. And the main hero in that poem is not Ram, but Raghu. And Raghu has taken a lot of exploits. Now Raghu conquers India. He is a Chakravarti ruler. He goes around and around in India in circles to conquer it. The descriptions of Raghu's conquest of India's mainland somehow poetically match very well with the description we get of the conquest by Samudragupta of entire India from Allahabad Prashasti. So some historians and poets think that maybe Raghu is partly a kind of model based on Samudragupta's conquest of India. But Raghu does not stop there. Raghu goes even further. He goes to northwest Afghanistan. He goes to Amudarya, Sirdarya. He conquers that part of Malavika and comes back. And that, I think the name of river used for Amudarya by Kalidasa is Vakshi River, if I remember correctly, but I will have to verify. So that part of the conquest of northwest matches very well with the description we get from the Mehrauli iron pillar of a king called Chandra. So Chandragupta II, son of Samudragupta, is known to have conquered both Bengal and Afghanistan region. And the Kushanas were finally defeated by them. Devaputra Shahanushahi Kushanas. So that conquest of Chandragupta II of northwest part, maybe that acted as a model for Raghu's conquest of northwest. So Raghu, Kalidasa has never said that. Kalidasa has never, it is our guess, rational guess, that Raghu is the character created by Kalidasa from mythology primarily, but which was given some historical inspiration, partly from Samudragupta and partly from his son Chandragupta II. So it becomes very, but apart from Raghu's conquest, there is another thing for which this book is very famous. And that thing is the ideal of kingship. What is the duty of kingship? How the king should be, dharma and karma, duties of the king, what is justice, etc. All these things of the kingship philosophy are gone into detail by Kalidasa, which we can take as representative of the Gupta kingship ideal. Right? So these are the 4 poems. Then come to the drama. Malavika Agnimitra. Of all these poems, which are primarily based on epics, it is the only drama which is based on a historical character. Agnimitra was son of Pushyamitra Shunga. And the story is very interesting. Have you known the story? That Agnimitra is a prince. He is already married to some wife. And one day he finds a woman, her name is Malavika. She is a slave. And he takes his heart to her. Now what to do? If he thinks if my wife finds out, I will face a lot of problems. So what does he do? He keeps a picture of Malavika in his pocket. And whenever he is alone, he would take the picture out, look at the picture, aha, Malavika. But one day, his wife finds it out. She gets very angry. And she says, Malavika, get out of our empire. So she is thrown out of the empire. And then the twist and travel starts. Ultimately, it is revealed to us at the end of the drama that Malavika may be a slave today, but originally she comes from a very noble family. She is aristocrat. She is not of low birth. She, because of the circumstances, had to become a slave. Once that is known, then the wife of Agnimitra says, aha, she is of a noble birth. Then I have no problem. Mr. Husband, please go ahead. It is a story that ends on a very happy note. We have Malavika, Agnimitra, and Agnimitra's wife, all of them happy and good ending. It's a typical Bollywood masala. All of them are happy ending things. It is a norm given by Bharata Muni in Natya Shastra that we should not have tragedy. Tragedy was a very identifying marker of Greek drama. In India, tragedies are not allowed, except for 1 or 2 exceptions. And none of them is by Kalidasa. But anyway, we have Vikram and Urvashi. Vikramorvashiyam is a very famous story, partly from epics, and same Abhijnanashakuntalam, Shakuntala and Dushyanta. The story of that thing, someone machli khati hai, everybody knows those stories, right? There is some element of tragedy in that also. Shakuntala, there is some element of tragedy, but ultimately both of them get united, Shakuntala and Dushyanta. There is a story by some author who claims that, see, some Eurocentric historians call Kalidasa as Shakespeare of India. But Shakespeare has written a lot of tragedies. Kalidasa has written none. So it is not a kind of correct comparison. It is a very Eurocentric way of looking. The only sense of somewhat tragedy you find in Abhijnanashakuntalam for some time. Had Kalidasa shown that before the messenger from Dushyant reaches Shakuntala at the end, she commits a suicide. And the messenger brings the message back to Dushyant. Dushyant is bereft with separation and gets very sad, and he also commits a suicide. Then that would become Shakespearean tragedy. लेकिन यहाँ पे होता नहीं है, यहाँ साथ में आ जाते हैं. So we have all these stories. Kalidas is known for his rasa. Kalidas, he is known for the best kind of portrayal of Shrungara rasa. Kalidas is also known for his use of metaphors and simile. And Kalidas is known for the portrayal of nature. And also, one last thing, the language that Kalidas has used. I am not going to see, these are the basic things. You should be able to write 5 marker on Kalidas at least. The language that Kalidas has used, it is a type of Sanskrit called Vaidarbhi Sanskrit. Vaidarbhi Sanskrit. See, Sanskrit also has regional styles. The 2 famous styles of Sanskrit in that Gupta era, one is Vaidarbhi and other is Gaudi. So Vaidarbhi comes from Deccan and Gaud comes from the east part of India. The Gaudi is known to be a very ornate and complex Sanskrit, technically superior but ornate. Vaidarbhi is known for its sweetness. Kalidas came from region near Ujjain maybe. He was also for some times, as per stories, in the court of Vakatakas. So he has used Vaidarbhi Sanskrit, which is very mellifluous. So mellifluous type of Sanskrit is Vaidarbhi Sanskrit. But anyway, this is, I think, more than what is required for UPSC.